I see a
I,
notification. Perfect.
I think we are on. Woo woo.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. So I'm so happy to be talking to Nick from say it again.
I see a notification. Perfect.
I think we are on. Woo woo.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. So hold on. One thing that I got to figure out is the echo because
Yeah.
I hear it. Do you hear that?
I just heard some
Hold on, I
playback
just got to turn
after.
it down on YouTube. I think that's the problem. I got to mute. Okay, done. Yes. See, we're problem solving. We're figuring it all out on the fly. So I do that all the time though. I forget to turn, I'll have, multiple things on, forget to turn one off, and then you hear the echoing and all that. So we don't need that. So we're good.
Awesome.
So why don't you share where you are in the world? Because we're in very different places right now.
Oh, Lynn, how I wish to be where you are right now,
I
only
have
to
no
have
complaint.
that beautiful
Oh,
tropical breeze in the
look at
ocean.
this. And look at the sky. It's like,
I'm totally inspired.
I
I-
know.
I'm utterly inspired. I'm on the East Coast of the US. Literally, footsteps from Manhattan. We're right across the Hudson in Jersey City downtown. And yeah,
Moving over there, right? Like,
it's starting to feel a bit
yeah.
like Christmas. It's very strange. From summer to hurricane season to now, it's starting to get chilly.
Yeah, but I feel like Jersey City is getting quite popular. So you're a trendsetter.
You know what? I evacuated, not evacuated. I moved over a little bit more than 20 years ago. I loved Manhattan, but I'm one, and it ties in with me energetically. I need access to outdoor space and nature, and
Yeah.
being on the water here has been really
For
great.
Island. I
It's really inspiring. Sunset and sunrise and sunset. It's gorgeous. There's always an ocean. I mean, always a river and a harbor breeze. It may not be the most delicious of smells, but it's a nautical feel. Nothing
Kind
like
of everything, right? I mean, that's
everything.
pretty damn good. Okay, but you said something that I think is a perfect launching off point for our interview today to talk about your brand. So we're going to talk about the Conscious Beauty Collective and what kind of ties us all together and the values that we share and all the stuff we're up to. And we're going to specifically talk about Nick's brand. And I butcher the name, iero. Is that how you say it?
That is, you know what? That's
People
perfectly.
butcher Masami too. They say Masami. So how do you say it? How do you say your brand?
So the easiest way to remember it,
E.
air, as in the air I breathe, E,
Iero.
air, O,
E.
iero. And
Iero.
it actually comes from the ancient Greek word ieros, and that means sacred in ancient Greek. To us, you, our consumer, our customer, the person in front of me, you're sacred, and it's our way of providing humble honor to you and to
Love
acknowledge
that.
you have to recognize that in yourself. So a very important value prop for our brand is to
Uh,
get people
So,
to admit.
I mean, this is so powerful, but you said something in the beginning that I think you say these gems and you're just so used to saying these things that are so brilliant that you don't even notice that they're brilliant. But I'm listening going, God. So you talked about energy and how you wanted to feel a certain energy, and your brand is super keyed into that, like the crystals and the aura
Correct.
and the energy. And I totally buy into all that. I mean, I'm here. This is Dominica's Nature Island. You feel a different vibe, a different energy. You feel more like, I mean, I'm sweating like crazy and the bugs are eating me, but you definitely have different, I don't know, it's like groundedness. So let's talk about that energy that you wanted to put into your brand and how you even conceived of that because beauty doesn't really do that. Most beauty products are like this, right? They're superficial.
It's interesting. All of that was factored in the ideation through creation phase. We're constantly pivoting because we see this whole recognition and recognition of consciousness and one's vibrational energy as being pivotal. For me, in my career, which spans almost 3+ decades, I've worn
Too.
almost every hat in the beauty industry, literally from studio to selling floor to lab, and through it all and through the countless faces that I've been honored to touch, whether it's literally transforming someone or teaching them how to do their own makeup, or playing and validating formulas to make sure that they perform. It is amazing that energetically to recognize that one's authentic beauty, one's true beauty, not on the surface, we're talking so much deeper, authentic beauty and confidence, which is the next energy center down, solar plexus, they come from within and vibrate out into the world. And so it's this beautiful, vibrant, energetic force that we're honoring because that manifests into the material world energetically through you, through your soul. And as esoteric as it sounds, I have validated it personally over 3 decades because I've always tried to figure out, where does she get this? Where does he get that? And when you really think about it, it is like how one truly brings their energy forward that shapes what
Yeah.
the physical world experiences of them. And we're spirit and body. We're spirit housed in material form in our avatars. So for me, iero beauty was really about setting free one's authentic confidence and beauty and really helping to nurture that within people. And when you recognize that energetically what you bring forth shapes your reality, influences people, and changes the trajectory of things. We co-create our reality, our existence. And that is, I think, for me, one of the greatest discoveries. But in creating Iero Beauty, the challenge was how to go about it. So, you can't do it with just beautiful raw ingredients, fabulous formula bases. You've got to think deeper in terms of what can you do to nurture this, and I call it, and not I, many of us recognize the fact that when heart and brain are synced, in coherence, it's a very powerful thing because not only do you have greater access to your own intuitive wisdom, but you hear world-class athletes talk about this. We say skin and mind, or body and mind. For us, it goes beyond that. It's the heart-mind connection, which connects the whole self energetically and brings it forward. And so in the creation of the brand, we first recognize the challenge, you know, the best of modern science alone can't. We're going to tap into ancestral wisdom. And the whole feel of the brand energetically is this, kind of Mediterranean inspiration, obviously from my background, but
Yeah.
more importantly, to kind of bring some of the ancestral wisdom forward. It's not exclusively Greek, it's pan-Mediterranean, pan-Aegean. So from the Straits of Gibraltar all the way to the Levant, down to the north coast of Africa, there have been amazing ancient traditions and wisdoms that we're rediscovering now in the 21st century. And what was seen as woo is actually it's actually true. It's science. It's about tapping into the power of intent and one's vibrational energies, bringing it forward, being aware and mindful. And then, most importantly, with the brand, it's about this moment of pause to nurture yourself, with self-love, with beautiful energy, to bring forth this amazing light that each and every one of us has. We call it our unique 5D approach, and it actually starts, in terms of color. And it's interesting because like a retailer may say to you, you know, I'm not feeling the dark purpley vibe. I'm like, It's more than a vibe.
Yeah.
This is your first entry into an immersive experience, and that's what we wish to create for you at iero Beauty. So it begins with color therapy or chromotherapy and the ability of color. And so we've chosen blue, indigo, and violet, which are within these upper energy centers, throat, third
Mm,
eye, crown chakra, to just create a mood, a vibe for you. So when you reach for it, you open it, you start to experience. That's your first point of contact with a change in your vibrational energy, is you're going towards something that is inspiring you to be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more grounded and calm. And that's where, again, the experience of self-care begins. If we can create the mood, the vibe, and it carries through into the actual packaging,
yeah, it's beautiful.
and what you see and what you do with it in terms of literally loading crystals into your hand, amethyst crystals, blessing them with your intent, dropping them into the formula,
So
and every
cool.
time you use, it's about swirling and activating not only your intent, which you reset every time, but also energizing the formula for then a full experience. So from color and color therapy into aromatherapy, which is obviously the use of beautiful essential oil blends to help
Mm,
nudge a bit of change in your emotional state and help to make you aware of returning to your breath and using something. Very important mindful cues like these amethyst chips that are within the
mm,
formula, all the way down to the most important aspect as to how you fully engage with a multisensorial formula, and that is through ritual. Our application rituals were created in tandem with a Reiki master, and it really was to punctuate these beautiful energetic movements, this self-nurture and healing. That's very important. Again, it's about spreading the love. And when you love and nurture yourself, how wonderful, because you can bring it to the world. You can bring it to everything that you do, touch, create, and nurture on your own unconditionally. So it's about this moment of pause, this beautiful 5D approach. And of course, the most obvious deliverable, I think, that a consumer is wanting to know right away, it actually begins with a formula that delivers efficacy. So formulas that deliver result to the skin, and then a multisensorial immersive experience that nurtures your whole self and well-being. So that's kind of the pipeline or the
oh,
backstory of the brand. And I'm so blessed. I've worked with my favorite Italian laboratories. They're some of the most innovative out there. We sourced beautiful ingredients, including some gorgeous upcycled ingredients from the Mediterranean, the ancient Alianico grape, which is within our Vitis Venus extract. And it's incredibly detoxifying, moisturizing, and nurturing to the skin, rich in polyphenols and resveratrol. One of my favorite ingredients, as well as this gorgeous upcycled pomegranate extract. Um, Here's an interesting
sounds
factoid. Did you
yummy.
know pomegranate is one of the Mediterranean's only true adaptogenic ingredients, adaptogenic fruits? And this is a byproduct of the Italian juice making industry. And it's a water-free extraction that actually is done from the peels of the pomegranate. And so we were able to, harp into this, but the efficacy of this particular extract is really exciting, because not only does it help to deal with, again, environmental and emotional stressors, um, UV irradiation as well as blue light, really just helping to restore the skin to balance and helping to mitigate all of the dangerous effects that stress and harmful environmental aggressors introduce into our skin, which shows on our skin, obviously,
Yeah.
just our emotions and stress, adrenaline and cortisol show on the skin. So if we can, through beautiful formulas that are high in naturality, that are clean and nurturing, address the balance, the protection of skin barrier, the strengthening of it, introduce beautiful radiance boost into the skin where the light is playing so gorgeous and naturally, and no matter what lighting situation you're in, it starts with the skin, but on a much deeper level. With this 5D approach, it really is about you taking a moment to check in with yourself, nurture yourself with self-love, and really fully experience the beauty of the formulas and their multisensorial experience.
Oh my God, there is so much to unpack in everything you said because it is so thoughtful, way beyond just about any other skincare brand that I've spoken to because and to be honest, I think it's the future because we are in a world, I mean, we're sitting here, it's a week after the election, not even, right? No, it's a week.
It is a week, you're right, Tuesday of last week.
And it's crazy. And I just think that our society as a whole has lost touch with this mindfulness that you're talking about, this energy that you're talking about, this inner peace that we're talking about. Everyone is so quick to be reactive, and everybody is such a short fuse, and people are on these like goldfish attention spans. And I know it may sound trite to people, but if you can infuse some of this intention into a routine that you already have without making people do another thing, I think that's where the win-win is, in my opinion. So I think you are pioneering beauty in a way that 10 years from now, if there are brands that do not have the thoughtfulness and intent and mindfulness built into their DNA, we don't want them. Well, half of the country might want them.
But
The other half won't.
what's so interesting is, I mean, we definitely are very proud to do some groundwork to really bring this to a broader platform and a much broader audience. But this is not new. It's not brand new. I mean, and this
No,
is
you talked about it. It's actually going back to ancient civilizations, but we've forgotten.
we think about the importance of how they would anoint themselves with,
Right.
sacred oils, and they would experience whether they themselves were nurturing or if they were a queen or a pharaoh, etc. They had a team of people doing it, but was always about centering and grounding them and reminding them in a beautiful way, not in an ego-driven way. Ego is in check. Of your own divinity, your own beautiful divine spark. That is what I call for our brand, your authentic radiance. And this is attached to that beauty, that authentic beauty, and again, the confidence that are vibrant energies that flow out of you and to the universe. So it's like if we're aware of that, as esoteric as it may seem, the fact is, I got to be aware of my energy. I don't have it to give right now. If I can just take one moment of
I
pause,
can just,
my skin
yeah,
clean, to nurture that back in myself, I can give it again. And I personally was feeling this way the last election. And that's where the ideation really began. And about a little before 2020, but during the election, and over, during the handover of power, everything that I was personally seeing, feeling, experiencing, I cut myself off from news now because it
yeah,
was so upsetting to see this division and polarity.
yeah, I
And
know.
and you know what? That's not what life is supposed to be about. And so for us, the brand is really about delivering an empowering message about take control of your life. And it starts with you. It all starts here, and it starts with being aware, being conscious of your energy. And when it is in check and when it's primed, what you can bring forth, what you can create, what you can manifest is miraculous.
I mean, you're really creating skincare for evolved humanity. You know what I mean? That's kind of the idea. And I think it's very interesting because of all the things we've been talking about, we're so disconnected and people are not in touch with what's going on inside of them at all. And by the way, that psychodermatology, which you kind of referenced, that is becoming a kind of a trend because people do recognize, like, if they break out in hives and they're anxious or they have a panic attack, like that's connected to their skin. But what you're talking about is even deeper. It's your energy source. It's like your soul and your energy and what you're putting out there. I am a huge believer. This is going to get into woo-woo territory, okay? But
Bring it
uh,
on. I love
I
it, Liz.
know. It's, you know, first of all, I go to Contact in the Desert, which is in Palm Springs. It's the world's largest ufology conference.
Oh, wow.
It's fascinating, fascinating.
You
Adam
next
Curry
year.
is there. You should come. You can stay in Palm Springs. It's crazy. But there's the alien stuff. There's nobody wearing tinfoil hats, I promise, but there is alien stuff. But a lot of it is more about this decoding our energy around us. That's a lot of the conversations and the topics that are there. And I mean, one guy presented a whole conversation around how he thinks we're living in a digital matrix. Okay, that's a theory. Um, but somebody else presented this study. It was a quant study on life after death and the proof points around it and how
Where does
there
the
are,
energy go, right?
right,
Where
where
does
does
the
the
energy
energy
go?
go? And I don't know about you, but I have experienced when my dad died, that kind of like, wait a minute, that can't be happening. How did that happen? Like moments where you do pause and think, there's got to be more to this world than just us. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, that's a sign. That's telling us. I think we don't like to listen. It's hard. It's hard
We
to listen
have
and
to
engage.
listen. No, but what's beautiful is, I mean, all of this affirms when you think about especially ancient cultures and, the wisdom coming out of great cataclysms at the end of the Ice Age, what they call the Younger Dryas period, where, unfortunately, history is not understanding or acknowledging the fact that during the Ice Age, there were advanced, very advanced civilizations that were global. And the Younger Dryas may have not only had intensive solar flares and a destabilization of our weather patterns around the world, but there was definitely cosmic impact, and they can prove it now. And that was about 10,500 years ago. But when we look at civilizations, when civilization mysteriously reappeared around the world, approximately 5,500 BC, and agriculture began to become the way of communities and humanity bonding together,
Yeah.
and civilization starting. They were obsessed with tracking, with watching the
Yeah.
stars, the cycles of Venus, the moon. And the moon is one of the great stabilizing forces within our beautiful weather pattern. Without the moon, we would be a disaster. However, many people say with the moon, and when it reaches its peak at full moon, I'm an emotional being aware of the fact that this is an energy, it is a magnetic energy.
Yeah.
Every interaction we have with the
Gravity,
stars
right?
and the galaxies, this is all an interconnected web that we are a part of. as a small speck, and then we can continue to go further in, not just emotionally and spiritually, but like literally the universe is both macro and micro, as above, so below, as within, so without. And I think taking all of that into account and understanding your true place in the universe, that you are a part of everything, is this beautiful thing about bringing forth love because we are all the same. We're all interconnected. So no, I'm not a child of the 60s, but I was born in the 60s and I carry that forward. I mean, this interconnectedness, the awareness of not only one's own energy, but of the collective is
Yeah.
so important to navigating life and to validating why you're here and to understand your greater purpose. And, so for me, all of this was a part of the beginning of the journey of ideating the brand, which I think was really fun because I was presented with internally and externally all of these things. How do I begin to understand my place in the universe, what my true purpose is, and what I can give back, and how I can, again, find similar as with you. And again, thank you, Lynn. You, the CBC, inspire Alex and myself. The work that you're doing is incredible, and the awareness that you are creating really for humanity to understand the importance of self and taking care of self to nurture and love others. And I think that's what
But
it's.
we're just basically doing what you've been talking about, which is trying to create a higher energetic vibration by joining all of us together. Because think about that, right? Like on our own, we just tiny little blip. But when you have a bunch of us, we can start to make a rumble,
We
and
sure
that creates a bigger
can.
wave, and that should ripple. And so that's the idea. And I think it's we're getting somewhere. I mean, we've got a lot of interest. So let's talk more specifically on beauty and skin now, because
I
we
love
we were we were up in the woo, which I love. We could have stayed there for hours. Trust me.
that.
That is amazing. But let's talk specifically about the type of products that you've created. What why did you create the type of products that you did in terms of the specific formulations? Your lip product is amazing. I love your lip product.
Oh,
But a lot of skincare brands would never do a lip product, right? Like that's almost borderline cosmetics, but yet it's hydrating and it's yeah, so I'm just curious about your innovation process a little bit and getting inside your brain to understand how all that came about.
so big picture, when we back out a bit, what you're seeing right now through our collaboration and work together through the CBC and the pop-ins that we're opening with you, you're seeing our very first franchise. It's an energetic franchise or an energetic collection. So we talk about this vibrational energy, Moonkissed, which, is our first baby, and I actually live off of Moonkissed morning and night. The
I
entire
mean, your skin also looks amazing, so you are a good spokesperson.
Oh my God. I can say it's because I'm nurturing myself with beautiful formulas from the best of Italy, with the finest, raw ingredients that deliver results. But it's the whole energetic approach, and it's about taking that little bit of time within my skincare regimen. It's not like I'm adding any more time. This energetic approach within Moonkissed is all about calming, soothing, helping to mitigate stress. So ultimately, we are reducing cortisol, adrenaline levels, and we're returning you to center. But in terms of the efficacy on skin, the beauty of all of the Moonkissed products and why for someone like me, Moonkissed is like morning and night, and anytime in between, I need to refresh. Everything is about calming and soothing the skin, uh,
Yeah.
and that balance, that harmony, being able to strengthen and help rebuild skin barrier. Again, me, stress, rosacea, skin sensitivity. I'm very reactive. I'm an empath. So my
Oh,
inner
yeah,
world and outer world oftentimes clash because I'm feeling things too intensely.
yeah,
Moonkissed for me is like it's my morning and night sauce. And so everything about the regimen helps me to calm and soothe, protect, help to strengthen and lift up the abilities of my skin barrier to protect myself and to keep the skin looking beautiful with gorgeous anti-aging, as well. And then, of course, the deliverables, immediate and long-term hydration. So
yeah,
step by step, even though we were talking about a lip product, it's treatment first.
yeah.
And, it begins obviously with beautifully cleansed, purified skin, getting into a product like our gorgeous Serene Essence replenishing mist. So it's both a hydrating hydrolyte mist and an essence that really addresses, again, the calming and soothing, but the radiance and the immediate and long-term hydration. Oil, our serum oil is one
So
of
good.
nurturing products that I immediately am like, you've got to experience it. This combined by saturating first the face uh, with the mist and going into the oil creates this beautiful application ritual. So it's a filmogenic layer of nurturing living energy that you breathe in after you warm it up, and then you massage and you work it through. And then after that, you go into emulsion, which is a beautiful hydrolate. So again, flower, water, and botanical oil emulsion. So a moisturizer that almost bursts on contact with on skin in this beautiful watery release. So it's immediate hydration, long-term anti-aging and radiance and barrier repair. So the basic regimen is super simple, doesn't add much time,
Yeah,
but
I love the simplicity. It's
is
so
just
smart.
a
And it's
couple.
multitasking, which is so smart as well. The other thing is, there's a lot of now people talking about Gen Z and how they're much more interested in making their skin look good and hence going into Sephora and buying, retinols and all crazy stuff. But I definitely think, you get people sort of tuned into the right skincare routine from the get-go. So
Yeah.
let's talk about your typical customer. I mean, I'm just sort of spitballing, but I could see Gen Z loving your products, but I could also see people like me loving your products.
And it's interesting, exactly what you made a reference to our luminous pH lip. And so
Yeah,
while you may first see color, and yes, it is about authentic self-expression, which is a brand pillar for us, but it's skincare first. It's
yeah,
about nurturing. The base is a gorgeous shea butter, vitamin E, and sunflower seed wax, gorgeous botanicals, which we spoke of, that upcycled grape, that upcycled pomegranate extract, a raspberry leaf stem cell, maxi lip. It is really about improving the skin, the texture, strengthening the barrier of the lip skin as well, hydration, plumping that's very gentle, it's non-sensitizing, and then you get this beautiful kind of intuitive release of color through these pH activated pigments. And so they bloom authentically towards to you, to your pH level. What's awesome too is you can actually work it into the cheeks. It blooms this gorgeous kind of flush from within look onto the cheek. And so it's a color play, but most importantly, it's about nurturing and
yeah.
treating. Protecting. And so this is where we recruit. This is what we're finding that
Mm,
younger consumer and
makes
even
sense.
where consumer first experience the brand through the lip, and then
Yes.
they get introduced to the
Fascinating.
other products
Yeah.
as they understand our commitment to quality ingredients, a beautiful experience that's multi-sensorial. Even within the lip, there's a lavender, chamomile, and vanillin fragrance that just reminds you, like, take it back to the breath, breathe into the heart space, start to nurture yourself with the lip product, take it onto the cheeks, watch how you bloom. It reminds you of your, and then all of a sudden people are curious to know more about the rest of the brand. Well, I just wanted to say this is just
Amazing.
the first franchise or the first collection. We are currently working on Daystar as an energetic collection.
Yeah.
Daystar is about energizing you. So the
Oh,
whole
that's
color
amazing.
experience is very different. It's verdant green. It takes you into your heart space, your heart chakra, but it's also about the solar plexus and that confidence where you create, bringing it into the heart space and then up into the throat chakra. So you hear your truth, speak your truth on a product efficacy level, and experience what your skin will actually enjoy from the product and how your overall look will be affected. It is really about energizing, oxygenating,
Mm.
protecting again from these environmental aggressors with anti-aging and radiance as important value props that we bring to you. They happen to be great to connect you to your makeup. So, using this as prep for your makeup, as priming steps and refreshing steps, very important. But what's beautiful is on its own, you're really nurturing beautiful skin and more of a balanced emotional state that is much more positive and less triggered, as you do.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's
Amen.
it's your skin meditation.
Yes,
Your
I love
skin.
that. You could probably trademark that skin meditation. That's a good idea.
I love it. I would love
I
to
think
do
so.
that. I've heard it mentioned in other ways within the industry, so I don't know that we have a chance at it, but it really truly is your time, your time.
Well, regardless, I do think you're onto something big. I think you're out to change the world in such a good way, and it's so exciting to see. And thank you for sharing more of your story. I loved hearing it. Maybe
Thank
we can do
you.
another one and we'll pick up some more conversation because there's so many little threads of things we could have spent an hour on in that conversation easily.
Well,
Um,
it has been such a pleasure to be with you and to be inspired not only by you, Lynn, but the environment you're in right now. I'm so longing to be there.
I
Thank
know.
you.
I'm in Dominica, which is Nature Island, which inspired my little candle business, Il de Nature. So we're actually picking up some beeswax down here.
Are you really fantastic?
So we'll see, but it is beautiful. There are a lot of bugs. It's Nature Island, so that comes with the territory. But it's amazing. It's really a special place. We don't want tourists to find out about it too much because, we don't need any Starbucks here or Taco Bells or McDonald's.
Yeah.
So on that note, thank you so much.
Thank you
A
so much.
pleasure,
What a
and I'll
pleasure.
see you in New York City in a
Yes, I
couple
will see
weeks.
you at the opening of right after Thanksgiving. We're so looking forward.
Yes, that is okay for anyone listening. December,
Second, was it, or third?
no,
Third.
no, no, no. It's the 5th.
The fifth is the opening
The
event.
5th is the open. I had to think about that. The 3rd is in Newport. The 5th is in New York City. And then we're moving to Crozet on the 7th. So I will see you. It'll be amazing. And we're going to keep spreading conscious beauty to the world.
Have a blessed and beautiful Thanksgiving. Thank you. What a privilege to be with you.
Thank you. All right. I am ending.